There
Yeah.
in a lot of these like new tokens. So my analogy is the .com bubble. When people during the .com bubble, the .com was the hot space. Everybody wanted to get in on it. All the companies, these new startups, they'd go public and their ticker would say .com, and then all these venture capitalists and hedge funds and then retail would just FOMO in. It would go up like 100, 200 fold, even though it was a complete skeleton of a company. But I'm not saying that these tokens, whether they're scams or not, or like just like completely. I'm just saying that like they're putting like pulse on it, and like all of a sudden they have a sacrifice, and they could raise a couple 100,000, or they could they could get a lot of ripples like of a lot of chatter about it on Twitter, just because it has a pulse on it, or copies the logo colors, or they make it in a hexagon, and like it just really goes to show how hot Pulsechain is going to be and how bullish I am on Pulsechain. Although
Yeah, that's what's crazy is like my channel, the videos about Pulse and PulseX get like 4 times the subscriber rate. And I'm like, what other subject could you make a video about on YouTube where that's the case, And
yep.
it's it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, I'm not saying other things suck. Like, there's stuff that's pretty cool. Like, I know there's a fork of Aave. I used Aave on Polygon, but I don't like that. I'm probably not gonna use it just because I did it and I didn't really like it. Like at the end of the day, I like staking the hex, and time pays me is gonna be cool. But and then like the Gerardo's NFT market, that's a really good idea. But like I said, like I did the thing where I would like put my Matic into things and they wouldn't work out, or they do perform less. And there's going to be so many like shiny objects coming out. I feel
Yeah.
like,
You got to ask yourself, will it outperform the Richard Hart projects? And so it's like, not only does it have to not be a scam and not be a rug pull and not be a token that doesn't make it, which is that. So like even a token that's honest and not a scam probably won't make a comeback after one cycle. I mean, you look at 2018, there are only like 4 or 5 out of the hundreds and maybe thousands of tokens that came back, right? You had Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, Monero, and Cardano. Those are the only ones that I could think of that made new all-time highs. So like even if it's none of those, is probably not going to withstand the test of time. And then even if it does withstand the test of time, so you're in that 0.0001% of projects, you still have to outperform Richard Hart's projects, which are insane moon runners, which have been. Obviously past performance is indicative of future results, but you have to outperform that really, because I have my money and I could either buy the safe bet, which is him. He's got not financial advice, but I could either go into his projects, a founder of a track record of benevolency, of integrity, of regard for the law, or you could go into this new shiny thing, which maybe it will make it in, but it probably won't. And I'm afraid a lot of people are going to be like, oh, these stuff are too old. Let me get into the new shiny thing. Often, which pretty much piggybacks on Richard Hart's ideas and his brand and his logo. And they're going to end up, even if they get like a 20, 30x, they're going to end up getting so much less than they could have gotten with the opportunity that I see with the trifecta of Hex Pulsechain and PulseX. I mean, that's just the numbers. I mean, you got to go by the likelihood. So that's really what I think about that. What do you think?
yeah. I think also like you put 50, let's say you're like, I'm just going to put $50 worth of Pulse into this thing and it fails, but then Pulse does another 1000x whatever. And you're like, oh man, that,
50,000 you could have had.
Yeah, that $1 million Pulse I put in actually turned out to be quite a lot. So I don't know.
That's why I stick with Hex, Pulsechain, PulseX. And like you look at all these like influencers, they went around peddling things either paid or they did it with sincerity, like really believing in them. they usually look foolish after a while. I mean, just look at all the projects that were mainstream. You look at Celsius, you look at Luna, you look at and now FTT and Solana. It's just you're gonna end up getting these sound bites of you looking like a moron and someone that you can't take seriously, even though you were doing what everyone else was doing.